WPPF News 25 at 11 starts now.
I don't know what he's doing with the money. We arrested him this morning. He had $5.25 in his pocket. So obviously, he's not investing it very well.
The law catches up to a man behind a massive identity theft scam targeting some unlikely victims. Good evening. I'm Bob Capel in for Tiffany Kenny. Thanks for joining us. This massive fraud case involved death row inmates, stolen cars, and hundreds of thousands of dollars. Alexis Rivera is live in the newsroom tonight with more on how this scammer was caught. Alexis?
Well, Jonathan Peden had many identities and many convictions. He served close to 20 years for various crimes, but investigators say once he got out of jail in 2000, that's when he stole the identities of his fellow inmates. Jonathan Peden is a man of many names. Dennis Ray McGee, James Jr. Ellerby, and Raymond Triplett, however, were not his, but rather the names of men behind bars in Mississippi who had their identity stolen by the 46-year-old.
He was making basically Mississippi birth certificates. He would file a request from the Social Security Administration. They would send him an updated Social Security card of the inmate that he stole the ID. He would then go into the Driver's License Bureau, obtain an identification card.
Detectives say Peden would write bogus checks between multiple bank accounts that he opened in his victims' names. He managed to withdraw at least $20,000 before anyone noticed. Then he moved on to local rental car companies, getting his hands on more than $600,000 in rented cars before charging people up to $500 to rent those cars from him. According to Mark Brown, an identity theft expert, this type of crime is nothing new, and for victims who've had their identity stolen, it's quite difficult to recover.
Identity theft, number one, is the number one crime for the last 9 years in this country. It's taken right now up to 600 hours to solve one identity theft problem.
Peden, he was mostly targeting inmates serving life sentences, but even they could have protected themselves.
Some sort of service that is monitoring our identity and then notifying us that there is an issue. Now, how do you notify an inmate, and how do they respond? That would be an issue for them, but a family member or friend, they could have it go to an email address of somebody that they're comfortable with.
Peden now faces more than 70 felony counts of driver's license fraud, bank fraud, and identity theft. If convicted, he could spend the rest of life in prison.